Good morning. I just barely made it on this morning. I'm kind of rushing around, trying to get things going here at the church. We've got all the signs over the top of uh, or getting ready to put the signs over the top of the rooms. Got them all made. And, going to be some differences when you come back. I think you'll enjoy. I want to talk today about making provision for the work. That's something that all of us have got to do. There's always a time when we need to plan. So think about this. I was in Brazil in 1999, and one of the things that was kind of interesting there is how they got their water for their baths, and sometimes their drinking water, because the rains were not as regular as they ought to be. So we had to make provision for that. And I noticed as I was traveling around the city of Altamira that there were great big looked like vats or big, huge barrel kind of construction. Some of them set on poles, and I asked one of my guides. I said, "What are these for?" He said, "Well, it's to catch the rain when it comes down." Says we don't have very many wells around here, and we have to use the rainwater when it comes. So they were making provision for that. I'm kind of glad they did, because while I was there, if I wanted to take a shower, I had to use the water that was actually caught on top of the roof up there in one of those big vats and huge kind of barrel things. And it was what basically gave me my the water to the house, and also the water for bathing. There was a way you could turn on the instant heater as it comes through to have hot water. Sometimes I forgot to. Kind of dangerous place there where they put the turn on switch, so I had to be very careful. All through that whole thing, had to think through what I did and make provision for it, because I was in a different country. There was just a whole lot of things that were going on that were different than what I was used to. So in Solomon, or in Samuel, Solomon's birth was special to David, because he knew that Solomon would be the one that would inherit the kingdom. And he said to himself in 2 Samuel, he said, "Now David said, Solomon my son is young and inexperienced, and the house to be built for the Lord must be exceedingly magnificent, famous and glorious throughout all countries. I will now make preparations for it." So David made abundant preparation before his death. And if you read through that whole experience, you'll see that he even pre-ordered the lumber from Hiram, made ready for the timbers and things to be brought, and the exchange and the money that would be used to spend upon the temple was all put in place, so that when Solomon got ready to build the temple, it would be there. How many of us make provision for our life? How many of us plan ahead? Or do we just live day by day? I catch myself doing that more so than anything else. It's just kind of living for the moment. And sometimes it gets me caught up into some serious situations. But truth is, we need to make provision. God wants us to be good planners. Now, he's got control of the future, that's correct. And he can do what he wants to, and he can change our plans in the midst. But it's always good to have the plans just in case we are able to carry through the whole work that we've got up there. We need to plan ahead. We need to make provision. What forethought David was in thinking about God's will being fulfilled even after he was no longer on the scene. What provisions are you making to carry out God's mission for your life? Like David, you may not live to see a dream fulfilled, but you can make provisions that will extend beyond your life. Are you telling your grandchildren about Jesus? Are you telling your children about Jesus? That's an extension of your life. Make provision that they too will have the opportunity to see you in heaven and to be with Jesus in heaven. It's an interesting time we live in. Make provisions. My journey in the foreign fields began before time began. God made provision before time was. God saw his only son dying on the cross for the people that would live in my time. He made provision for their sins' debt to be paid in full through Christ's death. And that's why we need to make provision, not only for ourselves, but for others around us and for our future. I'm looking forward to Jesus coming again. I don't know about you. Anyway, have a great day. Enjoy the weather that's going to come. A little cooler right now. Going to be raining tomorrow. But then it's supposed to be in the 80s for the rest of the week. So enjoy this little cool spot. We may not see it again for a long time. God bless you.